What's going on? We back. Another video. Just dropped a video talking about Chris Ebanks Jr. taking on Abraham July 15th. So check that out as well. A lot of videos the other day. We back. This is my boy CJ Goodfellow. We back. And today we talking about everything that's wrong with boxing. Basically inside the ring. What's wrong with it. I'm not talking about promotions or network budgets or matchmaking or anything like that. I mean strictly from a fighter standpoint. And one of the major things, and I'm gonna start talking about what's wrong with boxing, is guys like Leo Santa Cruz and Adonis Stevenson. I mean, I think they're the poster boy for trash boxing. And I'm not saying their abilities aren't good or great or potential for greatness. I'm not saying that. I mean, as far as how they move in the sport of boxing. Start off with Santa Cruz. This is a guy who, was baby his whole career coming up. Similar to Deontay Wilder, thing. He was baby. But this is a guy who had amateur pedigree. He beat Adrian Broner in the amateurs. This is a guy who, enjoyed a nice height and size advantage versus most of his opponents. And then when he did fight on the Mayweather pay-per-view cards or the Canelo pay-per-view card, I think he fought on once. He underwhelmed versus subpar competition for the level he was supposed to be on. So it turned off a lot of fans. And then he split with Al Heyman for a minute when Oscar came back and took control of Golden Boy, and he was awarded the rights back to Leo Santa Cruz. Oscar De La Hoya proceeded, the savior of boxing, right? He proceeded to make Rigondeaux and Santa Cruz happen. Was that a backhand to Santa Cruz? Probably wanted to go back to Al Heyman, or did he really want the good for boxing and wants to make it happen? He was deep in negotiations. Santa Cruz refused. His father then talked about how they didn't need Rigondeaux, right? And Al Heyman came back and spent money and bought his contract back out, and then proceeded to do soft touches. Then he loses to Carl Frampton. Frampton grants him a rematch that he didn't have to grant him, I don't believe. Rematches him back in the United States again. Cruz wins, and he doesn't return the favor to fight Carl Frampton in Ireland or anywhere. So he pulls out. Now he's fighting on the July 20th night, Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia versus another no-name. When you hold 2 elite belts, I believe he holds, but you still want to fight that C-level competition or unknown competition. And you can't tell me it's nothing wrong with that in the sport of boxing. And Adonis Stevenson as well. A guy who got a late start, turned pro at 29, now he's 40. I think a lot of people don't realize that. And he continues to get paid big bucks for fighting mid-level competition. I think that's being kind. And, he's making a living, making more money than Kovalev is making versus Ward, probably fighting weak guys. And I can't hate on the guy if he's making money, but I can't hate on him if you're holding the belt, you're not, holding yourself to the highest standards to fight the best. Then you look at the in-between, the cream filling the Oreo, these old motherfuckers like Miguel Cotto and Pacquiao, who's just sitting in the game and stagnant. They don't want to pass the torch, but they don't want to retire because their name gives them money. Gets them money, gives them free shots at belts, gives them handouts, give them 80-20 splits versus subpar competition. So they hang around the game because they can, because they sell, because they're a name. And now, the networks are really starting to shun them and shut them out. And they starting to kind of, take their, their work elsewhere, their product elsewhere to another level. And that's the product of these guys, milking out the game. And then, now they in the game when they're not the same fighter or the same draw that they was. Now they still want that money, but they don't want to fight those type of caliber of fights. So they in the game, overshadowing the game, where the fans still want to identify them as the best, but they don't want to give the young guys the passing over the torch chance that they eventually got in their career. So they just want to hang around and get freebies. Cotto getting a free shot at the WBO title versus Kamagai. That ain't right. And Jeff Horn, Pacquiao's fighting Jeff Horn, even though, somehow he's the number one contender. But who wants to see that fight? Nobody. And when they done with those fights, they're going to fight some more cakewalk or non-competitive fights or non-elite fighters. And then you look at these junior middleweights. Guys that people accuse, some of them that people accuse of Canelo Alvarez of ducking. But now Canelo Alvarez has taken himself out the equation at 154 pounds completely by now moving to 160 pounds. These guys still don't fight each other. Look at Erislandy's Lara level of competition after he fought Canelo. It's piss poor. Demetrius Andrade, after he called out Canelo, called him a bitch. After he talked shit to Charlo and then pulled out the Charlo fight with a career high payday. Then he showed back up to the Charlo fight after the Julian J. Rock's William thing. Then he turns around and fight Kokla. And he goes on these breaks and these lows. And at the end of the day, these guys are all indicative of what's wrong with boxing. They don't want to be competitive, some of them. Some of these guys, they want top dollar, but for fighting, mid-level guys. In some cases, you can blame Al Heyman and a few of them. But as far as Lara and Andrade, as soon as Jarrett Hurd won that belt, they was running that Jarrett Hurd. But do they want to fight each other? No, they continue to dance around each other and don't continue to fight the best. And that's the theme of this video. But